Welcome to the building blocks video for lesson 1 of Return to Me. I'm really glad you decided to continue with me and are watching this building blocks video. A lot of these activities God has been having me do as I've been writing this Bible study, and I believe that you'll find them valuable in rebuilding your life with God also. First thing I want you to know is all of these things, they'll be on YouTube, but they're also going to be on the website at birdchurch.net. If you're not watching it there, I suggest you do, because at that website, I have a lot of other resources. I have all of these links for these handouts I'm going to show you today for extra things to study. The scriptures, the questions will all be laid out there. It's just an easier place to do the Bible study from, so be sure to check that out. I always sometimes also put some archaeological resources, other YouTube links. They're maybe 2 or 3 minutes long. For this first one, I have one on the cylinder of Cyrus. I know it's very exciting archaeological discovery, and I think you'll find it interesting. It's very short. So the first thing I'm going to put on all of these are questions for you to journal. I suggest you get a spiral notebook or some kind of journal so that you can journal after I give the input on each lesson. So here's some questions for you to ponder. First, what do you think God means by a prisoner of hope? Number 2, why do you think King Cyrus chose to let the Israelites go back and rebuild the temple? Number 3, is God stirring your heart to fully return to Him? And if so, how do you know? And then, number 4, do you have a friend in the faith who is currently rebuilding their life? How could what we study today encourage them? What would you say to them to help them along the path? Now, I also am going to list the scriptures that we studied in each lesson next. So we read Ezra 1 and 2, but we didn't study the whole thing. I paraphrased a lot of it. So I suggest that you go through and read it yourself for yourself, and maybe just take notes along the way of questions or things that look interesting to you. Also, Zechariah 9:13, which is our key verse, I suggest you print this out and memorize it. It is going to be there through the whole entire study. That's our key scripture. See if we can get it memorized. And then Zechariah 1:3, Isaiah 45, which is that scroll that Daniel presented to Cyrus. It's exciting to read it. And then Deuteronomy 30, 1-16. So Deuteronomy 1 through 16 is our building blocks activity for this lesson. I'm going to have an activity for each lesson. Some of them are more hands-on than other ones. This one is reading in the scriptures and doing some things, but some of them are going to be actual physical activity that you have to do. So I think we're going to have fun with this. So these are all on this worksheet that I have given to you for each lesson. You'll be able to find these again on the website. So all those questions I just read are there, and the scriptures, and now an explanation of the activity. So for the activity, the first part is read Deuteronomy 30, 1-16. Just read it through the first time. Then part 2, reread the scriptures and fill out the included worksheet or simply journal the following questions. Here's the questions. What is God saying? If you do this and write it out, the things that He wants you to do, He will promise to do this, and then write out the promises. So you can see I have this worksheet. I'm peeking out from behind it here. Let's make sure you got it on here. That's a little close. Okay, so you can see that those same questions. If I do these things, God promises to do this, and then I have actual verses that you can actually write for some clues. Now, once you've done this and put it all into these categories, I'm going to ask you to do something else. And that is to craft a prayer, which is actually a letter to God. And I'd like you to print it up. I'd like you to type it out and print it up. Now, how do you write this letter? Well, you go to the things where God said He wants you to do these things, and you actually write it back to God that you're pledging to do those things. So have some fun, craft this prayer, write it up, print it up, put it on your refrigerator, any place where you can see it often, because then it will remind you that you've pledged to God that you want to return to Him and rebuild your life. I also, for the people that just panicked when I said they had to write something, I also crafted a prayer for you. So it is on this worksheet. So if you'd like, you can just use mine, but that's where all this information came from the Deuteronomy scriptures. And then you can fill this part out and sign it and hang this up on your refrigerator. So if you're really gung-ho and you want to write it yourself, go for it. If not, use my letter. And then finally, I want to remind you again to check the website for any follow-up video links or any other activities I have for lesson 1. Can't wait to get started building. And let's go on. I'll see you again in lesson 2.